Was your birthday good though?
It was alright.
It was all right. Did you go visit with the family?
Nah, just chill.
All right, that's good. All right, I think we're good to go. All right, guys, welcome to episode 25 of the Film Planet podcast. I'm your host Nadal.
Jamaal.
Today there's a lot of things to go over. Jamaal is going to be giving us his thoughts on the Equalizer 2, and then really the meat of the podcast is going to be talking about all the news from Comic-Con, trailers, movie news, production changes in terms of directors and things like that. So that's we're being nice about that last part, but we're gonna talk about all that stuff, and just kind of give our opinion on it. So with that, I say we should get the Equalizer over. Let's just do that first, and we'll get.
I saw the Equalizer 2. It was a cool little action movie. Yeah. Denzel, good actor, so he's going to do most with very kind of basic material. It was an action movie. Typical tropes, turncoat friend, mentoring figure. He takes a kid, troubled youth under his wing. He takes names and kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. To me, it's on par with the first one. So if you like the first one, you'll like this one.
Yeah.
I think the action was a little better than the first, but the character development for an action movie, it ain't always deep character development action movie, but for an action movie, the character development in this one was better than the first one. So overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. Okay. Real enjoyable movie.
Quick question, because I haven't seen it yet. Any return characters other than Denzel's character?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
did they serve any purposes or more?
Yeah. They serve a purpose.
Okay. The girl have a return from the first one?
It served the purpose.
Okay, that's just me. I didn't know if they had done anything like that. It always seemed like one of those movies where it's a second one, but the first one didn't have any impact on the second one.
It serves the purpose.
Okay. That's cool. Well, with that, that's 7 out of 10, you said?
7 out of 10. Yeah. Fun action flick. Go watch it.
Okay.
It's Denzel. Come on.
Yeah, it's Denzel. You're gonna have fun.
One of the best ever.
Yeah. With that being said, let's get straight into Comic-Con. There's a lot to.
He went.
Yeah, I went to Comic-Con. My little brother and I. We were able to get into Hall H for the Warner Brothers. We unfortunately weren't able to get Hall H for the other days. But yeah, we're able to make it the Hall H for Warner Brothers, which, if considering what was there, that's probably the big event for Hall H for Comic-Con this year. So I was able to take a look at Aquaman, Shazam, the new Fantastic Beasts, Godzilla.
Footage of Wonder Woman.
There was some footage of Wonder Woman. Yeah. It looked pretty good for being in production for only 3 weeks is what they said. What Patty Jenkins said on stage. It looked really, really good. And with that, I guess we'll start with
Glass trailer.
Oh, in the Glass trailer, yeah.
Venom that I didn't see.
And I didn't see. He didn't go. Unfortunately, didn't make that. If you know anything about Hall H, just getting into one is a feat in itself. So I chose the one that I felt was a little bit more impactful for us. So with that being said, let's talk about Glass trailer. Actually, obviously you're able to watch that. That was some release.
Yeah. It was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was all right. It just set up what we already know was probably about to go down. The main character is obviously Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
So I guess they Unbreakable. The main character was done. And the next one, the main character was what's McAvoy's character name? I always forget his name.
I don't know. I just call him Split because that's.
Nah, it's not Split. It's the Beast, but he has a name.
Well, he has names.
No, but it's one name he really goes by.
I can look it up real quick if you want. But
nah, we don't gotta look it up.
But we know who we're talking about.
And Glass. So obviously he's the one that's gonna be setting up everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked all right.
Yeah, it looked all right.
It's promising.
Something I didn't know about. I didn't really know too much about this going into watching the trailer. Is they all three seem to be in the same type of mental hospital.
Yeah.
And it seems to be one person who studies cases of people who think they have powers. In this case, each one of them, Samuel Jackson's character is extremely intelligent, but he his bones break easily,
Yeah.
hence the name Glass. And then, obviously you have Bruce Willis's character, which is almost like the opposite of his. Not very smart, but extremely strong. And
Dang, stupid.
he's not
blue collar.
dumb. Very blue collar. Like, he's just your average Joe.
Yeah.
Kind of, he went to school, he graduated, that was it. And then, of course, we have Split, which if you saw that movie, multiple personalities. The ultimate one, I think it was like, there's 13 total, right?
Yeah.
The ultimate one being the Beast, where he gains extreme strength. Speed.
Eats niggas. He does. He eats people, mainly girls. Yeah,
younger girls, like teenagers,
who are perfect. Not the flawed ones.
Yeah.
So
it's just an interesting concept. I didn't realize that they were all in a mental hospital. I like that aspect that cool. 3 conceivable enemies are sitting right next to each other, and from what I can tell from the trailer, they don't realize they're enemies.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting to me just from that standpoint. But I mean, again, that's just a trailer. There's not a lot to go off of. It was meant as a teaser, and it's what it did. It teased it.
And, I'm kind of interested because Shyamalan's been on a roll. Like, he's actually had consecutive string of movies.
Where he's done some really good things.
And I'm going to give an unpopular opinion about Shyamalan. Their movies were bad. Some of them were bad. But
The Last Airbender?
The unpopular opinion is, Last Airbender was garbage. The unpopular opinion I have is some of his, like, I thought The Village was better than what people think.
I like The Village.
Like, to me, that ending was cool.
Yeah.
I like that twist where
That's a very good twist.
That was a very good twist.
I like that.
And a movie that everybody loved by him, to me, was stupid.
Signs?
Leading up to the ending, I know we're off the subject, but leading up to, this is for another day. We'll talk about, because I want to do.
Well, go into it. You're good.
No, I want to do a series about, each directors, and we just break down certain directors.
Okay.
But to make a long story short, it was very well executed, but these are extraterrestrial beings trying to conquer a planet.
They got beat by water.
But why would you go to, if you're allergic to water, why would you go to a planet that's 3/4 water?
That's 70% water. Why would you make that mistake? You have space travel capabilities, and you overlooked a planet that's 70% water.
Anyways.
I get...
And the creatures you're conquering, our bodies are sustained by, 70% water?
Our bodies are 70% water, yes. We are made up of 70% water.
Okay. Anyways, so Glass, okay trailer. I'm not excited for the movie, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It teased it, made it more interesting. Let's see. What's the second trailer? There wasn't a Venom trailer, was there?
It was. We didn't get to see it.
That's right. It was Hall H specific.
From breaking down, they said his symbiote uses weapons and he eats people.
Yeah. So there you go. Again, Hall H is very hard to get
Tom
into.
Hardy.
It's Tom Hardy. I do have some friends that were able to attend Hall H for that, and they said that they really didn't talk about the movie a lot because I guess Tom Hardy's a talker, and he just kind of took over the panel the entire time talking about people. So it kind of...
Yeah, that's kind of whack.
But that was probably done on purpose. Let him talk and avoid having to talk about the movie for an hour.
Yeah.
So that's besides the point. Really, let's get into the meat of it. The panels I was able to attend for Hall H, which was Warner Brothers. And so, I mean, they pretty much had the gambit. We'll start with Shazam. That's probably the hot take there outside of, because we've never seen it on screen before. But they released a trailer for it. I liked it. I'll start this off by saying DC for Warner Brothers, for specifically those superhero movies, there was a distinct vibe, a constant across all of them that wasn't present in all the other movies that they've done, including the first Wonder Woman. It just wasn't there. But we'll kind of get into that later. But Shazam, I liked it. I liked the suit. I liked the humor approach it was taken. It even makes calls out to other DC movies that have happened in the past. So it's
had a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, it had a lot of cool little Easter eggs in there. Whether those go anywhere, it doesn't really matter. They're just fun to see them on the screen. To make light of it. what was your thoughts on the Shazam trailer?
I was indifferent about it. Like, I like the direction where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
I like the feel of the movie, but when he turns into Shazam, he's supposed to become a boy in a man's body. That costume doesn't look like it fits him. Like, I know they still have time to develop the movie, but it's like, it just looks off.
It didn't flow.
Something about him in the suit looks Zachary Levi.
Yeah.
It's something about him in the suit that just feels off to me. Off.
I actually agree with that. I would describe it as his head seemed too small for the body he was in.
Right. He looked like a Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, he looked at
big body, shoulders, little head.
And I get they're trying to make him look muscular and all imposing, but they could have probably toned that down a little bit. Because if you know anything about Zachary Levi he's like 6'2",
and he done worked out for the role.
Yeah, he worked out.
Cut.
He got cut for it. So I don't think they had to overdo the suit like that. Now, granted, this is the very first trailer. This movie doesn't come out till next year. So there's a lot of excuse me. There's a lot of CG stuff that can be tightened up on that aspect. But I mean, outside of like if you're ignoring that just from a trailer standpoint, I did like the vibe it was giving off. I like that it has like it's almost like a buddy, like two buddies, going at it that are in a similar situation. One guy's kind of like the loner, doesn't really know anything about superheroes, but he's the one who inherited the powers. But I guess because he's a foster kid, the other kid with him is, had a disability with his legs, kind of a nerdy person, is very familiar with superheroes, and he's basically going to teach him how to be a superhero without having any of the powers, but he has all the knowledge. So I kind of like that. I like that aspect, but it's really just two kids trying to figure out a difficult situation.
And like I say, I'm indifferent about it. I have to see more.
Oh yeah,
I'm really like indifferent.
Yeah,
it could go either way.
I like the trailer. I mean, obviously, I can't like a movie based off a trailer, but the trailer itself, it got me excited for it. For a movie going into it, didn't really care for, to be honest. Second one is Wonder Woman, because it's really not. They didn't show a trailer, but they showed us some footage of Wonder Woman. And this is where I want to kind of talk about that constant that I saw that started with Shazam and went into Wonder Woman and then even into Aquaman later on. Is everything's brighter. Everything has a more, like, I'm going to use the word uppity, but I don't mean it in a negative sense. Everything just seems, all the characters seem happier. There's a lot less gloom going on in the world. Everything just seems, everyone seems to be a lot happier.
But let me ask you this. Do you take that as a positive or a negative?
I take that as a positive.
Wow.
It's not like they did a complete 180 where they went from completely, doom and gloom to, hey, nothing's ever happened before, everyone's happy. It just, the vibe of the movie, there's more color to the films. People are cracking a little bit more jokes that aren't just missing left and right because of what's going on around. It just everything felt better delivered.
You didn't like the coloring in Wonder Woman?
The first one. It just, because they colored it up a little bit, but it still wasn't. If you have to see, like, just in the screenshots.
I like the color in Wonder Woman. I saw some screenshots of Wonder Woman 84. It does look more vibrant. Yeah. But I think Patty Jenkins is going the more vibrant route because it's the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's how people view the 80s.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Everything was more colorful. But I like the color in Wonder Woman. Now, the color in Suicide Squad was trash.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. But their other movies have been that doom and gloom color, very.
But you said Wonder Woman. I didn't see doom and gloom in Wonder Woman.
Well, I mean, but it just, in comparison to the new one, it's not as colorful. But then even then Shazam and Aquaman, if you see the Aquaman trailer, the Shazam trailer, they're a lot brighter. A lot more stuff is popping on the screen.
Yeah, but I don't want DC to go the Marvel route where they have to have color.
Well, so I don't think they are, though.
I feel like the mistake a lot of, film Twitter or film social media people, film nerds make is, like, I think it depends on the character. Like, Nadal's right. Bright, colorful, vibrant. It works for a Superman, Wonder Woman, a Shazam. They're kind of colorful characters, larger than life.
Yeah.
They're all larger than life, but you know what I mean. It's really is a god amongst men Get it?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, God amongst men. But and then you have then you have like, you know, Superman. Then you have Shazam, who's supposed to be colorful. I don't want to see a vibrant Batman. We got it with Adam West in the 60s and it was corny.
Well,
I'm not saying I want to see Christopher Nolan's version. I want to see a spin on it, but
well, I'm not saying
Lobo
abandon the doom and gloom altogether. I'm just saying from what.
But you said a constant with DC, and I'm just saying just based off what you said. I meant
specifically on these movies that they showed at
Comic-Con. I'm just saying based off what you said.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Well, no, I get what you said. Yeah,
because I don't want to. You know, if they do a New Gods movie, I don't want a bright, colorful New Gods.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying do that all across the board, but for what we saw, like I saw, it was a constant between these three movies that they showed.
Okay.
That it was much brighter. It just, which I enjoyed it.
The Cold War movie '84 needs to be more vibrant.
Yeah, it's just a good palate cleanse from what they've done in the past. Which, I mean, if you know anything about Justice League, they try to correct that in post to make the movie brighter. Literally, like it was too dark. They try to make it brighter. So but which I just personally I enjoyed that. It was something different and new from them, and I like to see a big company like that finally actively try to, okay, we're listening, we'll try to make some changes here, because for the longest time it's something like DC and Warner Brothers just like, nah, we've made our decision, we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't, we're not wrong, we know we're not wrong, we're making the right decision here. Which I'm one of those people, the fans don't always know what they want. But
I agree.
Yeah, but at a certain point, maybe both sides can be wrong at sometimes.
It's a famous football coach. His name Bill Parcells. It's not a sports thing. I'm not really big on football. He's more of the football guy. But I do remember this quote, and it stands true to even with movies.
Yeah,
he said, "If you listen to what the fans are saying, next week you'll be sitting with them."
Yeah.
And I like that quote. You can't always go with what the people say.
Yeah. It happens a lot with video games. There's a lot of times video game companies ignore what the fans want because it doesn't work from a practical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't translate. You can't always do it just because they want it. Which some of these studios have done before. But that's besides the point. And then really Aquaman, which is, was in my top 5 anticipated movies. For 2018, that did not disappoint because we had to wait a little bit longer for that movie. James Wan, I promise you, probably was in fights and meetings with Warner Brothers executives because they probably were pushing, we need a trailer. He's like, no, we'll wait.
He got leverage.
Yeah, and he has the voice and power and the resume to be like, he can throw around, he can throw his power around, and he did that. And thank God he waited, because that trailer was, I loved it. It was dope. It was everything I wanted. You should probably talk about it more because I'm going to be a little biased about it.
Go ahead.
No, I loved it, man. Like the energy from Jason Momoa, Amber Heard was a good contrast to his energy. You could definitely feel like he's reluctant, because this is an origin story. So this takes place before Justice League. You could tell he's reluctant to take that mantle to be that, but he also understands that, he has to be, he's been a leader. He has to be a leader. And Amber Heard you can be heard in the trailer saying, you're born to be that, you're a natural born leader. That's how you're able to do this, this, and this. Stuff that's not related to his powers. Like, people want to follow him. That's something a leader just has. It's the action looked very cool. It looked vibrant. James Wan's, like, the first reveal of Atlantis, when they dive down into it. It looked beautiful. It looked amazing. The world looked lived in, which in previous DC movies, the cities and stuff you would see.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We'd always see them at, obviously it's probably like 4 a.m. and stuff like that, but it was like nobody lived in the cities. Even Man of Steel.
I didn't have too much, good point. I didn't have too much problem with that with Gotham. Because Gotham, Batman
he's usually at 4 a.m, 3 a.m. These people are asleep.
He's nocturnal.
Yeah.
But
Man of Steel? But
Metropolis supposed to be this,
city of the future.
It's supposed to be New York City.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's
city that never sleep.
Exactly, but it felt dead.
Yeah, it felt dead. He's right.
Which in Aquaman, you get fishes were going around. There's other vehicles that other Atlanteans are in. They're going swimming around in, or whatever you want to call that, in the water. It felt amazing. Like even when they had, I can only assume Jason Momoa and his brother fighting, in that arena. I like the
Or
Orm. Oh yeah, okay. I'm not too familiar with this stuff, guys. I'm just excited for the movie. I'm a Jason Momoa fan.
yeah,
Um,
I'm comic book geek, so
but it's I like they had that big pushback on the wave, and they all looked at each other and then just cheered because it's exciting. Two gladiators going at it essentially. Um, the movie just had a. It looks like once that movie takes off, it doesn't really stop. It just keeps going. It keeps snowballing, getting bigger and bigger until the end. It's I loved it. Your thoughts on it? Because there's an extended trailer, but I want to talk about that here in a
my
little bit.
thoughts on the trailer to the general public, not to the Comic Con audience. I thought it was good. I I thought it was good. It was cool. Cool. That's what I got out of the trailer.
Yeah.
It was cool. I thought Manta, the villain,
Mm-hmm.
his suit is amazing. Like that's
Oh
so
yeah,
cool. When he shot the lasers out his eyes, I was like, yeah, he's cool.
he was
But
dope. Even the way
I'm
when he
gonna
talks.
be the difference between me and the doll is I wasn't sold on Amber Heard and just based on the trailer, I wasn't sold on Amber Heard and Momoa's chemistry as Mara and
Aquaman.
I know Aquaman. I'm trying to say
Arthur?
his government name. Arthur,
Oh,
yeah. So I wasn't just
His
sold on,
government name. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. But I wasn't sold on their chemistry just yet. I don't know, like she had when I saw red hair, I just reminded me of Ariel from the Little Mermaid. So I don't know, man. Like I wasn't sold on their chemistry. And my thing about I do like Aquaman as his power set. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people think that's corny. He taught the fishes to control fishes. I'm like,
Come on,
nigga,
man. That's
I'm like
awesome.
people, he controls the sea. That means he can control a giant squid, which I'm terrified of. And
The sea kraken. He owns
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's cold. But I like his power set. But I think what it
He's
is,
just Superman in the water, isn't he?
no,
No.
he ain't as strong as Superman.
Okay, I'm just saying.
But he got cool powers.
Yeah.
But I think what it is with me is I don't know. I know because he's the ocean and he's kind of a rebel. He kind of has a surfer dude vibe. Like, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And maybe I gotta get a feel for that. But I don't want to say too many negatives because the trailer was good.
Yeah.
So he's right. I like the vibrant. And the coolest part of the trailer is at the end when the sharks with lasers on them.
Man. It's literally like a.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's like if you like spy movies, you know what sharks with lasers means.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
But overall, for me, the trailer was good. It wasn't great. I wasn't super excited, but I was like, this is the trailer Aquaman, a movie like Aquaman needed to grab people's interest. It did its job. Me being a movie buff, knowing the caliber of James Wan, Momoa, Mara, for me, the trailer was a little underwhelming. But for the general public, the trailer did everything it needed to do. So for me, good trailer.
Yeah, I liked it. And like I said, I'm gonna be straightforward with you guys. I'm biased on it. It's a top 5 movie. I'm a very big Jason Momoa fan, dating all the way back to Stargate. So I'm biased going into it. But they did show us some extended trailers, and it's kind of to your point with Mira and Arthur, their chemistry. The extended trailer had a lot of them on the screen. So spoiler alert ahead. Skip 5 minutes ahead because I am about to talk about.
They're probably showing the second trailer.
Yeah, it'll probably be in the second trailer, or portions of it will be in the second, because this was about 6 minutes long or something like that. Combined with the actual trailer that they combined it with, but we got to see more of Black Manta. A little bit more his, how he fights. He has a little squad with him that is very strong. Apparently, can run straight through walls. There's like a little rooftop chase scene that they show us. And Jason Momoa, the whole time he's running from Black Manta, is laughing. And he's like, man, this is cool. Like, he's just having fun, even though he's...
Adrenaline junkie.
He's facing death, but he's enjoying every minute of it. But there is a scene where they drop, I believe, into the Sahara Desert, where, if you know anything about history, the Sahara Desert used to be a giant ocean. It dried up. The original Atlantis is in the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
So Amber Heard's character Mira goes there with like a tablet.
That's when he did that yeehaw redheads and stuff.
Yeah, when you say we see them land essentially.
Okay.
They find it, and then what I felt was a nod to the Fifth Element was they had to activate the tablet that they put into the stone had an elemental activation to it, but they're in the desert and it needs water. But she has a way that she was able to take water from the inside of Jason Momoa's forehead because he's the closest source of water, and she dropped a little drop right onto it. And I thought, to me, I don't know if it really was. It felt like a nod to the Fifth Element because that thing opened up like one of his tablets and everything. And I guess so I could assume it was the first king of Atlantis talking about the trident and the power that it holds. The person who has this has the ability to bring all the realms together. So all the different parts of the sea, the factions and all that, bring them together.
What is this, Lord of the Rings?
It felt like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. I mean, even in the trailer, there's two different armies clashing together, which has happened in like every single Lord of the Rings movie was armies just running into each other. Which that's not a bad thing, by the way.
Speaking of Game of Thrones nods, we'll get into that with the next trailer we discuss.
But man, it was that extended trailer is really cool, and then probably the biggest thing to take away from that trailer, outside of they showing those stuff though, is everyone's been pushing for is Aquaman going to be in the original orange suit,
the OG
costume. The OG costume. Yes, he is in the movie. How much of that is the movie? For all I know, they just showed us an end credit scene in that extended trailer. But at some point in the movie, whether that's before the credits or during the movie or after, he is in that suit with the trident. It's just a very dope little scene where it showed up for maybe 2 or 3 seconds and then it cut. So that was just them. It looked cool to see Jason Momoa, because you look at that orange suit and you look up where's the blonde hair, but you see Jason Momoa, has his long hair. It was cool to see it. I loved every aspect of it. And then, I mean, that's it for as far as DC goes. Warner Brothers, they delivered a lot with Warner Brothers came in, they were throwing haymakers, which, again, a part of listening to the fans, it seems from a corporate standpoint, they're all like, okay, we got to do something different. That company seems to actively be trying to change for the better. So the next for me, I mean, Aquaman, it's December 30th?
December 14th.
December 14th? And then it's earlier in the UK, right?
No, it's 21st.
Yeah, and then it becomes out.
Mortal Engines is the 14th.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins is 19th. So it has a lot
of competition. So Aquaman came out a week before.
And Bumblebee come out the same day.
Yeah, and then.
So a lot of competition.
There's even another movie coming out, too. But we'll see. It's November, December very heavy. Yeah. Aquaman's coming out like a week early to combat Immortal Engines, which will probably do really good in the UK.
And not too good over here, and ain't really buzzing, which sucks.
But we'll see. What was the next year? What would you like to talk about? Because we have Godzilla and Fantastic Beasts.
Bruh, let's talk about Fantastic Beasts.
Okay, go for it.
Once again, I'm an optimist with trailers, but this one, it was good. Once again, it was another good. It didn't wow me, but it was a lot of good. Johnny Depp is Grindelwald. They did a great job with that. They did a great job of fleshing out the story, pretty much. That's what this trailer was for, fleshing out the story. Jude Law seemed like he gonna be the star of the show as Dumbledore. It's like he's nailing that role. Even me, from watching the Harry Potter movies, I'm not even a big fanboy, but everything they described of a younger Dumbledore, Jude Law really exudes that from the movies, how they used to describe him. He does seem like he always has something up his sleeve, like they used to say. You didn't see that from the Dumbledore in the Harry Potter, because that's so shocking.
He seems mischievous.
Yeah, mischievous.
Sorry.
Yeah, he don't have that. He seems like a wise man. So you don't see that they were describing in the Harry Potter movie. But this, you kind of see that Dumbledore, he do seem like he be
that childlike exuberance that's coming out of him.
To me, he's gonna probably steal the show. Him or not Johnny Depp's character. What's the character's name? Letta Lestrange, Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah,
she seems like she'll be great in the movie too. So it was a good trailer. I liked it. I
Oh
liked
yeah,
it.
it was the trailer was fun. We all know my opinion on the first trailer. Didn't really do it for me. The second one, I liked it. It looked like it's showing that magic that I want to see from those movies. Outside of just talking about the magic, it's present just in the trailer. So you know the 2 hour movie is gonna have it in there. You get to see more beasts in there, which obviously the name of the movie. You get to see, just the more of the world comes alive in these movies that I feel like they never, you know, took a hold of in the first Harry Potter
But it
films.
is trying to tell a saga. So.
Yeah, and they're trying to tell a saga, but it's just I like to see that world more fleshed out because that world is interesting. It's cool. It's witches and wizards fighting each other. Um, and then another really cool thing. This doesn't really pertain to the movie itself. Just a cool experience at Hall H. Was Johnny Depp came out in full costume as Grindelwald and gave a little speech as Grindelwald about why he doesn't like people like us who are no mages, explaining how we're useful, kind of like a nod. He's like, I don't hate people who don't know magic. They're useful to me. I have a purpose for them, and it doesn't really say anything else. So obviously it was a nod to they're talking about something in the movie that they're not going to give away ever until it actually comes out. So it was cool to see that, just him dressed up in that costume. He looked in the movie. He looks creepy and freaky and intimidating. On the stage, he's actually
Johnny Depp could play freaky. He looked like a Tim Burton character, but with a J.K. Rowling touch.
It's just when you see him on the stage, like in real life, like it legitimately that is a freaky way to like. He looks scary, even though it's Johnny Depp. It's a very scary thing to look at, which is good. It's a tribute to his acting, good to the costume design, the character development for him. I liked it. They didn't really talk too much about it. It's not a movie we're going to get a lot of.
It's around the corner. You don't want to let too much out.
Yeah, so that they released the trailer.
Like it's late July.
Yeah,
the movie comes out November 16th.
Yeah,
it's a Thanksgiving holiday. So
yeah, it was just it was fun to watch it. They gave us a trailer. They talked about what it was like to be in a J.K. Rowling film. The legacy that she's like. They talked about how her legacy. 30 years from now, people are going to be talking about her movies and the books.
Oh,
which is true.
She did that.
Yeah, I mean, she basically created a franchise that's up there with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Star Trek.
She did
which that doesn't happen very often. For the fact that she's only 15 years for that franchise.
And what's crazy about her is she's still
going.
And she's fairly young. Like, she's in her, just now turned 50?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
She's like 50, 51?
Yeah, we never know what else she might have cooking in there that doesn't even pertain to Harry Potter. She could have a whole other franchise in there. We don't even know about it. But, I mean, it's cool to see J.K. Rowling introduce something to, entertainment industry that's become as big as the Harry Potter verse. And it's Wizard World. What do they call it?
Wizarding World. I like that better.
World. Yeah.
Because see, Potter more sounds elitist. It does. It sounds like we're Potter fans. You're not. Like,
you don't like Harry Potter?
Yeah.
But no, it's cool.
But Harry Potter has a cool fan base.
Yeah,
I'm a diehard Star Wars fan. We probably got the most.
It's probably the best Star Wars fan base in terms of the community.
Because I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, and our fan base is toxic.
I love Lord of the Rings, and they are toxic too.
Oh, Lord of the Rings fan base ain't toxic.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. You reaching.
They stay in their rooms.
Yeah, they just ain't out there supporting like Harry Potter. They kind of keep their fandom to themselves.
They keep their fandom. Yeah, they don't, and they really don't care about the new stuff. They just want more of the old stuff. They rather keep buying Lord of the Rings on different Blu-ray sets. Beyond me, but no. And then really the next big thing is something that hits home for us because we like our monsters. Godzilla. It's that movie looked dope, man.
Best for my opinion, the way he was like saying Aquaman, that was me for Godzilla. Yeah. Like,
I'll let you
to me, that was the best trailer during Comic-Con. Like, to me, that not only best trailer during Comic-Con, in my opinion, that's the best trailer of the year. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, that trailer, like,
it delivered on all fronts.
It delivered. Like, it shows so much without showing nothing. And I love that about a trailer. Like, it showed Mothra, it showed Gordiah, it showed Rodan. It just, yeah, man. Like, King of Monsters. Fire. Trailer was fire, dude. I think you know, it even had a little more, seemed like it had a little more character development without taking away from the monsters.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready to see it in the destruction that they were doing in, you know, Washington D.C. It was like apocalyptic event
with
now,
monsters.
Here's my thing. You have, and then the director has already said he did the Krampus, and he did the Trick or Treat series. Speaking of, one more thing. Let me say this first. What did the whole DC panel outside of Fantastic Beasts, because it's the same David Yates.
Yeah.
But what do they all have in common? Shazam, James Wan, the Godzilla. All of them started these up, and all of them got their teeth grit. You know, they got to kind of polish their fangs, pun intended, with horror. All of them started from horror before they got these big blockbusters. You know, Krampus, Trick or Treat, smaller films, The Conjuring films, James Wan. And the other guy did, what horror movie did he do? Damn. He did a horror movie. Oh, it's gonna bother me. Sandberg. He did like it was a notable, what? Look it up, bro. He did a horror movie, David Sandberg. Was it Don't Breathe?
I think it was Don't Breathe. No. What's his name again? Sandberg, right?
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll look it up.
He keep getting the name wrong. But anyway.
Andy Sandberg, but I got it now.
Anyways, all you gotta do is pull up Shazam. Look up the director. Come on, the dog. Google. But my thing was what I was saying before I got distracted by trying to figure out this director's name.
Is David Sandberg.
David Sandberg. Before I got distracted doing this director's name. Annabelle. Okay.
Lights Out.
Lights Out.
Closet
Okay.
Space. Yep.
Okay, close it. Okay. So what I did, besides them all getting there, start with being horror directors, which I've always said is the best way to kind of go to a blockbuster. What my thing is, the villain in King Kong gotta be Matt. It gotta be something cool. Because how do you top this? Kong versus Godzilla is supposed to be the Pacquiao Mayweather. It's supposed to be the big slugfest for Hollywood, but how do you top all these kaiju in one movie like a battle royale? How do you top it?
The director and the panel said that there's other monsters in it that they didn't show in the trailer.
So it's even other monsters.
Yeah, there's other stuff that they do.
How Kong and Godzilla gonna top it? Like,
we'll see.
My theory is they might bring out Mecha Godzilla.
Well, so this isn't Hall H, but there was a God of War panel, which this ties to Kong.
Roberts.
Jordan Roberts, the director of Kong, was part of that panel. And he thought, so he has a little bit of an inside scoop of what's in this movie for Godzilla. And he was like, I'm happy I had the ability to be part of this world. And he was like, and he had mentioned something about, it's going to be doing great things. He obviously clearly wasn't going to give away anything. But you could tell like his input was sought out somewhere.
Kong, and then he said Kong was going to be bigger.
He didn't, not in that panel. I think he said.
But in the movie, they said Kong was a baby.
Yeah.
So surely when we see
him
Kong,
in the movie, that's what it takes place in the 60s
older.
or 70s, right?
Yeah, so he'll be 30 years
older.
So he'll grizzled. So don't think Godzilla gonna wash him. Like they gonna go at it.
It's just a cool little monster verse that's coming together.
I thought it was the best trailer Comic-Con. Trailer, and it's so cool. Out of everyone, the power set, because all like Godiva, Godzilla, Rodan, they got similar power sets. So it's gonna be cool to see how Mothra plays into this, because Mothra is usually a protagonist. Godzilla's kind of like how he feels. I feel, I'll defend y'all today. But
Yeah.
today I'm God. I'm Godzilla. So today I feel like destroying y'all.
Yeah.
And Mothra, when he went that route, Mothra was kind of like the one that usually kind of hold him at bay.
Yeah.
So we'll see what role Mothra plays, because Godai is clearly the villain.
Oh yeah.
So
and Rodan sweeping over the planet.
And Rodan. So I want to see what role Mothra and Rodan plays in the movie. But yeah.
And then another cool thing to take away from the trailer, which I thought was interesting, is the human race the Monarch group is no longer in hiding. They're out and they're open. Like, hey, we're here. We're controlling everything, and they're actively trying to release these monsters to fix the population problem.
Science, so destructive, yet so awesome.
Yeah, so it's these monsters are not being released by accident. They are purposely being activated by the human race. They're seeking them out and releasing them.
Well, it seemed like one person doing it, but...
Well, she's controlling the Monarch group, which is, if you watch Skull Island, that's the group that's on the island. So it's just, obviously, that's all we know about that. We don't know anything about that. If we knew more, we'd tell you guys, but we don't. I mean, really, that really rounded up Warner Brothers. That was about it for them. They showed us Godzilla early. We did it in different order. They ended on Aquaman. But I mean, outside of that, there's really not. From what I saw at Hall H, that was it.
No.
Comic-Con news, that was probably the biggest little lineup in terms of what was there. And then really the last thing for the podcast today, something I'm not very excited about, but it happened. And this isn't Comic-Con news related. This just happened during Comic-Con.
This is huge. We say the best for last or the worst for last.
Yeah.
However you want to talk
the
about
juiciest in terms. But
yeah.
James Gunn was recently let go by Disney.
The director of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
He was let go due to some tweets or jokes that he made on Twitter. Back 8 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago.
About 6 years ago.
So let me kind of set this up for you guys. James Gunn, because we don't like to get political here, because we're not. That's not what we are.
I do.
But James Gunn is a very outspoken, Democratic person towards the Republican Party.
More liberal. I wouldn't say Democratic,
but liberal. If you follow him on Twitter, you see that he actively goes after them and questions them and calls them out on their shit. Excuse the language. And on the other side of the spectrum, there's people that are just like him that started digging. You can't delete stuff off the internet forever. And they found some tweets that he made about pedophilia, rape jokes. They were purely jokes. I want to point that out. He was purely making jokes. They
weren't fun. They were kind of tasteless.
They were tasteless. A lot of the defense that people has made was that he said that stuff. He used to work for a production company where they purposely made offensive movies, and that somehow justified it. I said, not necessarily. Just because that's what he did for a living doesn't make it okay to make the joke. And I can see the defense, but it's a very loose defense to be making. My thing is, those jokes, I personally believe you don't joke about that stuff. I know people who make those jokes. They do happen. I'm not pretending like they don't exist. I personally, if they make that joke, I personally won't touch those. I'm never going to tell someone to not do it, but I won't touch those jokes because that's a little too far for me. Now, where I feel like the firing was wrong is the man has, even before, he apologized for it years ago. Before this happened, he apologized. At this point, the first apology you guys saw was technically like his second and third time apologizing. Mm-hmm. But the man has acknowledged that was a mistake. Years ago, he said that was a mistake. I shouldn't have made those jokes. They were wrong. I've since grown up as a person from then to now. My sense of humor has changed. I recognize why that was wrong, and I've become better. To me, it felt genuine, the apology. If you read any of his recent tweets, you could tell he's not that person anymore. He still jokes around on Twitter. He doesn't make those jokes anymore.
All right.
And the fact that Disney fired him for it, just because of the backlash from the community from it, didn't feel right.
I'm gonna say this: it's a tough situation for Disney.
Yeah.
I don't think Disney wanted to do it. I'm not defending the corporation. People always tend to we as a society, we tend to indirectly defend, just like in basketball with the loyalty issue. So I understand. I'm not defending Disney on this, but y'all got to look at the catch-22. Would I fire James Gunn if I was a Disney executive? No. But the movie is marketed towards children.
Mm-hmm.
You were making pedophilia jokes that some conservative who you knew was headhunting, that you was kind of bumping heads with, came at you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a notable figure.
Yeah.
You should have backed your steps.
Yeah.
I know you apologized, but you should have backed your steps. So you forced Disney in a tough position. You got to look at it like this. There's people who support Mike Cernovich, that's his name, who pulled him up. There's people who supports Mike Cernovich and the Conservative Party and them who are Marvel Disney fans too, who take their there's people who support Trump who take their kids to the movies to see Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's kind of like, from a business thing, it's tough. It's a catch-22. I personally wouldn't have did it, but I'm not saying Disney was wrong for doing it. To me, I'm very I can see both sides.
Yeah.
Now, what I can't see is Disney fan. I see a lot of DC fanboys like, oh, beloved James Gunn, and then y'all was dissing Zack Snyder. Look, I gotta call y'all out, DC fanboys. I got the most toxic. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, so I know we had the most toxic fan base. But woo, y'all right behind, bro.
You guys are very close.
I know
second.
Marvel fanboys can be blind to everything Marvel, and anything outside of Marvel, they might critique a little harder. But man, y'all just come off bitter, bro. Stop.
You guys sound mad at the world.
Y'all come off bitter, bro. Y'all shouldn't be. This man was making jokes about pedophilia, and y'all exploiting it to make it a Marvel versus DC thing. Like, you're exploiting you're exploiting something as serious as pedophilia and sexual rape jokes as a Marvel versus DC.
You're using it as a way to be a leg up as a DC over Marvel.
Yes.
It's not that in any way, shape, or form.
Y'all are idiots for that.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I come from a toxic fan base, and it makes me sick. I mean, we ran off the creator from his own franchise. But man, y'all are like right under us lately.
That was self-inflicted, but
no, it wasn't self-inflicted. Come on, bro.
You saw those prequels. That's besides the point. Keep going.
Let's stop. That ain't self-inflicted. If that's the case, let's not get on the Hobbit. But anyways, yeah, man, y'all gotta stop, bro.
Yeah, I don't get it. And something else, not just is Guardians, marketed towards
I love
kids.
y'all loyalty. I love y'all passion for the characters.
Keep that.
Because y'all are a little more diehard than Marvel. Marvel has a lot of fickle fanboys. Yeah. They don't really know about Marvel.
They'll just jump off the boat.
Yeah, but y'all are really passionate. But man,
check yourself sometimes.
Stop being bitter, bro. Suicide Squad was garbage.
Yeah.
Justice League was garbage. Let it go. Stop trying to defend them. The movies were not good.
The worst you can do is
something
defend them.
About DC, even if y'all like them as fans, it's something about those movies that just don't resonate with the general public. Stop saying the general public don't get it and do something to make general public get it. Because y'all keep saying, well, we get it. That's all that matters. No, it doesn't. If you want this movie and these franchises to continue, the general public is going to have to enjoy y'all properties.
Yeah. Let's not get sidetracked, but let's get more, with
back to James Gunn. Yeah. I had to dig in.
Yeah, you're good.
But back to James Gunn. It's just a tough situation.
Oh, yeah. It's because Guardians isn't just marketed towards kids. It's Disney. Disney as a corporation is marketed towards children in a family environment.
Mm-hmm.
Parents don't... When you make a pedophilia joke, every parent in the world is going to take offense to it. Because every parent has a natural distinction. That is every parent, you can ask your mom and dad, turn around and ask them now.
From a trailer park.
Well, yeah. That's from a trailer park.
Our ghetto, super ghetto.
But, just from a maternal instinct, that it's to protect your children. that's probably, when people send their kids to school or they walk home from school, that's something in the back of their mind. Is my kid going to talk to a stranger that's going to take him away and stuff like that? So that's why the jokes themselves are in bad taste. That's why I joke around a lot. He jokes around a lot. We don't go, we'll go to racial jokes. We'll go to all that other good stuff. We do not touch that stuff.
Bryan Singer.
Unless you're Bryan Singer, but Bryan how was Bryan Singer not fired and James Gunn was fired? Okay, sorry. Okay.
Nah, how James Gunn fired and y'all still out here supporting R. Kelly.
Oh my God, massive support.
But we understand why. We understand why. It's Disney. It's Disney. A family oriented.
Yeah, but anyways,
if he was still doing his Slither movies, the Super, I think he would have been all right. But the fact that he's doing Guardians of the Galaxy,
and he works for a family oriented company at the moment. It's again, I stand by Disney killing people.
They're an evil corporation. Yeah,
Disney is no. I'm convinced that they own assassins. It's a joke, guys. It's just, but it's. I don't agree with the firing. I think that franchise is worse off without him. A lot of I've heard on Twitter, because
all Twitter, of the cast is stepping out.
Even the cast is like, that's nope. Some of them probably don't even want to be part of the movie anymore.
And that's not good because they're under contract, so they're probably going to do the movie
anyway. But they're not going to. They're not under contract. Doesn't require them to give it their all during that film.
They're going to go through the motions, and you don't want.
They're going to pull a Randy Moss that is last year with the Patriots.
Nah, here's what I think is going to happen. I think a lot of people say they're going to bring him back. I doubt it.
He's gone. Disney's not going back on that.
I think, but stranger things has occurred.
Yeah.
But I believe that now that they have the rights back, they officially have the rights back, they're going to probably postpone this movie. And they're probably going to fast track. You can't fast track the X-Men. They may fast track the Fantastic Four to fill that void. And they're the perfect team to do it.
Yeah.
They're the perfect team. They kind of got a quirkiness to them like Guardians. Not as quirky.
Yeah.
But, that's the first family in Marvel. They back home. You can introduce Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And they, just like the Guardians is kind of a bridgeway between Earth and the cosmic realm.
Yeah.
It ain't full-fledged cosmic crazy. They kind of got that middle ground with Star-Lord and stuff. Fantastic Four can kind of fill that void too with Reed Richards and their space exploration. So I think that's what they're going to do because with it being fresh, there's no way you can drop that May 2020. That's close. I know it might seem distant, but in the world of movie and cinema, that's close because you got to do your promotion run.
Got to cast it.
With it being fresh,
there's a lot to do.
I just feel like they need to postpone it.
Plus, there's probably a contractual thing where they can't start making these movies that they just bought for at least another year.
If I'm Kevin Feige, I move Black Panther up. I move Black Panther up, get Coogler on the phone, try to fast track the Fantastic Four, and push this back. Yeah. Because if you do it early,
and it holds out hope that James Gunn could come back. All in all, James Gunn, what he tweeted is wrong, but I think he gave one of the first, and I rarely say this. Ask Jamaal. I'm not quick to just forgive this stuff. He gave the first genuine apology that I felt he really meant it. He gave this apology before everyone found out about the tweets. He admitted to, I've grown as a person, etc. Even his brother said the exact same thing. Yeah. His brother made a statement saying, I don't condone those. Those jokes he made were wrong. They weren't right. But my brother has grown. He's not that same person that he was 8-10 years ago. And we live in a world where people don't admit to growing out of bad habits. People are too prideful to say, I've changed. What I did before, or what I said before was wrong. People don't like to admit it. He stood up to it and said it. Again, it's a catch-22 for Disney. They can't really keep him hired, but it's also at the same time they really don't want to fire him because he did something. Like if this was a regular Joe Schmo who said that stuff and apologized for it, probably no one's getting fired. But he's in the public eye, We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars at stake here. Someone's got to go.
This is Marvel Studios' first true L.
Yeah, this is
their first true L.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it came in a very ugly manner, but L's happen. You can't avoid them, especially in the internet, unless you're Joel Osteen. But that's a running joke. You'll hear about it later in other podcasts. But I feel bad for the man because I think he genuinely isn't that person anymore. I hope that maybe somehow people forget about this the internet, so they probably could forget about it, and they bring him back. He might not do Guardians of the Galaxy back, but they might bring him back for another movie in the universe.
If he ain't doing Guardians of the Galaxy, don't come back, bro.
Yeah, well, he probably don't want to come back because I don't think he cares about anything.
I think he'll come back.
Well, no, if it's not Guardians, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't care anything outside of that. But I mean, it's James Gunn. He's a millionaire. He'll be okay from a financial standpoint.
And for DC fanboys, for 1 week, y'all won.
Yeah, you guys made it a weird win, but you won.
With Comic-Con and the James Gunn thing that y'all exploited, y'all won.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's a longer podcast. There's a lot to unpack here.
We'll go back to being short.
We'll go back to being short. We went about 30 minutes over. But I think we have Mission Impossible this weekend. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Me and him will have to figure out a time, with our jobs and everything to go watch that. And then that'll obviously be a shorter podcast later on this week if we do one this week or next week.
And I want to do a segment before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
It's called Mile 22. Me and him got to do a special podcast, and we're going to start posting these more.
Yeah.
Because we need to get out there.
Yeah.
We're on our 25th, and we're really good now. And we're not promoting.
We have a good flow now, yeah.
And we're not promoting ourselves. That's stupid on our part.
Yeah, that's a self-inflicted wound.
We could be getting views. We really got our chemistry now. Yeah. But I want to do a segment on the resurgence of action movies. It's awesome. Yeah. It's been a lot of action franchises this year, A
lot of good ones. A lot of really good ones.
Equalizer. You got Mile 22 and Mark Wahlberg and dude from Skyscraper.
Yeah.
I mean, the resurgence of action movies.
Well, we said in our last
And it's
podcast.
my second favorite. A lot of people assume it's fantasy and comic books, but Star Wars is exception to the rule for me. Actually, my favorite movies is hard sci-fi. Not kind of the bubblegum popcorn, but kind of the harder sci-fi like Ex Machina or Annihilation. And then after that, it's like action.
Yeah.
Like regular action.
Yeah, for me and him, I think me and him, we talked about it since we first met, like back in 2011, working at Lowe's, was there's a good little spot in our heart for action movies. I'd never mind a movie, even if it's not good, like action movies. Even it's like pizza. Even when they're bad, they're good in some areas.
In some areas,
It's obviously that's a very general statement, but you get what I'm saying with it. It's a lot of the times with them, even when they're bad, they're good. Is you can just turn your brain off and enjoy what's happening on the screen. You don't have to look for deeper.
They're really an outlet.
Yeah, it's a way to.
I know people say like horror movie an outlet, but you gotta lose. With horror movie, you do need good. The great ones.
You have to invest in that world.
Yeah,
and
but action kind of just brings you in.
You turn like Lethal Weapon. Watch the Lethal Weapons. There's nothing on the surface of those movies. It's just the Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
There's nothing special there. You could argue about post-traumatic stress syndrome. That's about it. And that's just the one character.
You just laugh.
You just laugh and you
enjoy the characters.
Yeah,
period.
It's you just enjoy the characters in that world. And it's just cool to see action movies come back. Like you said, The Rock is a big contributor to that. Mila Djokovic is another big contributor to those action movies coming back.
Resident Evils,
Resident Evils. Not even come back. They kept it afloat until it could get its footing again.
And then it seems like it's getting its footing.
And it seems like it's getting its footing again.
Because they're saying Black Panther, I mean, all the stars are going to be in action movies. Like she's doing a movie with John Woo. He's doing a cop.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
he's doing a cop. Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah. He's doing Chadwick Boseman's doing a cop drama.
Yep.
And Michael B is in
and David
Creed. He's in Creed.
I can never remember her name and have like a Hollywood crush.
Oh yeah,
on her.
She's gonna be in.
From The Walking Dead.
She might be in Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah. So she's being. I think she just got a role in another action movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Charlie Angels, Lupita and Charlie Angels too.
So action movies seem to be coming back. Hollywood seems to be realizing, okay, we can fall back on these. They make money. they're worth the investment.
Yeah.
And they're cheap. They're next to horror films, they're cheap to make.
Yes.
There's really not a lot of CG, and it's really just small explosions on cheap cars that they got at the scrapyard.
Right.
So I'm excited for it. To just see that genre come back, and we'll post that
our favorites and dig into it.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, man. We're gonna call us out if we're not active on there, so we can be more active. There's a couple of
2 introverts, so it's kind of hard to put ourselves.
We're breaking our shell. We have to. We've kind of got our chemistry going now on the podcast. Now we got to break. There's other aspects that we need to improve, like social media, talking more, because there's stuff that me and him argue about all the time that we probably should just argue over Twitter about.
Or even, it's hard with Facebook because we don't have like big movie fans, but he's absolutely right with Twitter. There's no excuse.
Like the arguments that we text back and forth instead of texting it at each other on Twitter for it.
No excuse with Twitter.
Yeah, there's no excuse there because there's personalities on Twitter that I don't know how they have a following, but they do. That me and him in some cases have gone after and they shut down because we just excuse the language, we shit on them.
Yeah, right.
So and that's just one of us coming after him. God forbid both of us do it.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see that. We'll own up on ourselves. If you don't see us doing it, please come at us. We're not gonna shy away from it. So, anyways, that was this week's podcast. Hopefully, we'll see you either later this week or early next week.
Right.
But peace.